Hey everyone, welcome back to NowMako channel. Today is January 28th, 2026, and the AI world has had a huge news day. From Google rolling out a more conversational AI-first search to a massive legal and ethical backlash against deepfake tools, to power grids literally straining under the weight of AI data centers, and even a new benchmark for real data science agents. Let's get into it. If you want to stay ahead of what AI is actually doing out in the real world, not just in lab demos, you're in the right place. All the stories we cover today are linked in their original reporting from sources like the Google AI blog, Ars Technica, The Verge, Wired, Engadget, and MarkTechPost, so you can dive deeper after this video. Let's start with the biggest shift. Google is trying to turn search into something that feels a lot more like talking to an AI assistant than typing into a search box. According to the Google AI blog, in a post titled Just Ask Anything, a seamless new search experience, published January 27, 2026, Google is rolling out a new, more AI-native search experience to users around the world. The idea is simple but pretty radical for the web. Instead of search just being a list of links, Google wants you to ask anything and get a rich AI response. Then keep going with follow-up questions like you're chatting with a chatbot. This builds on what Google calls AI overviews, those AI-generated summaries that appear at the top of some search results. The blog says more users globally will now get easier access to what they call frontier AI capabilities directly inside search. So instead of bouncing between a search engine and a separate AI chatbot, Google is trying to fuse them into one seamless experience. Now, that's the official Google framing. Other outlets are already dissecting what this actually looks and feels like. Ars Technica's AI section has a piece titled AI Overviews Gets Upgraded to Gemini 3 with a Dash of AI Mode, also published January 27, 2026. Ars reports that Google is upgrading the model behind AI Overviews to Gemini 3, which is Google's latest large model, and the goal is straightforward: get the answers right more often. If you've followed the AI Overviews drama, you know there were some high-profile hallucinations and weird results when they first rolled out. Ars Technica notes that moving to Gemini 3 is supposed to improve accuracy and reliability, and that Google is also tying these summaries more tightly into something called AI mode, essentially a full conversational interface baked into search. That AI mode piece is where The Verge comes in with more detail. The Verge's AI section published Google Search now lets you ask AI Overviews follow-up questions on January 27, 2026. Their reporting makes it very clear. Google Search is becoming less about blue links and more about an AI that you talk to. Here's how The Verge describes it. You search as usual, you get an AI overview at the top, that's your quick snapshot. But if the answer isn't enough, you can scroll and seamlessly transition into AI mode, where you can ask follow-up questions in a conversational way. Robbie Stein, Google Search VP of Product, is quoted as saying, "This is a quick snapshot when you need it, and deeper conversation when you want it." The Verge emphasized how easy it is to move between traditional results and AI mode. From a user's perspective, this feels less like searching the web and more like talking to Gemini that can also browse the web for you, and that's a big shift, not just for users, but for publishers, SEO, and the whole web ecosystem. So let's connect this first theme. From the Google AI blog, Ars Technica, and The Verge, We're seeing three layers of the same story. Google is making frontier AI a default part of search. They're upgrading the engine to Gemini 3 to reduce errors, and they are turning search into a continuous conversation with AI, not just a list of pages. That's the AI everywhere side of the news. Now, on the exact same day, we get news that shows the other side of this AI explosion, business models, regulation, and real-world harms. Also from the Google AI blog, on January 27, 2026, there's a second post titled Google AI Plus is now available everywhere. Our AI plans are available, including the US. This is essentially Google's paid AI subscription tier, and now it's going global. According to the blog, Google is launching Google AI Plus in 35 new countries and territories, including the United States. And that means it's now available everywhere Google's AI plans are offered. This is clearly Google's answer to things like OpenAI's ChatGPT Plus or Microsoft's Copilot Pro, a subscription that unlocks more powerful AI features, likely across Search, Workspace, and other Google products. Put that together with the new AI first. Google is not just experimenting anymore. They are commercializing AI at scale globally and pushing users into an AI-centric way of interacting with information with the paid tier on top. But while one part of the tech world is happily turning everything into AI, regulators and watchdogs are saying, hang on, some of this is already way out of control. Wired's artificial intelligence section published a piece today titled The State-Led Crackdown on Grok and XAI has begun on January 27, 2026. Wired reports that at least 37 attorneys general from U.S. states and territories are taking action against XAI, Elon Musk's AI company, over its model Grok. The core issue, Grok reportedly generated a huge volume of non-consensual sexual images of women and minors. Wired says this includes a flood of non-consensual sexual content and that state AGs are now moving to investigate or take legal action. This marks one of the most aggressive, coordinated state-level responses we've seen so far against a major AI company for the behavior of its model. So while Google is trying to make AI the default way you search, XAI is facing the reality that if your model can be used to mass-produce abusive deepfakes, you might not just get bad press, you might get 37 attorneys general knocking on your door. And it's not just Grok. Engadget's tech news section has another disturbing but important story titled Apple and Google reportedly still offer dozens of AI nudify apps, published January 27, 2026. This story is based on an investigation by the Tech Transparency Project, or TTP. According to Engadget's reporting on TTP's findings, the Apple App Store and Google Play Store are full of AI nudify apps, tools that create non-consensual and sexualized images of people. TTP found 55 such apps on Google Play and 47 on the App Store, despite both Apple and Google having policies that should clearly ban this kind of content. The investigation estimates these apps have been downloaded over 700 million times and have generated more than $117 million in revenue. And remember, Apple and Google take a cut of that. Some of these apps were even rated as suitable for teens, or in Apple's case, kids as young as 4 or 9. Engadget notes that both companies have started removing some of the apps since the report, but not all of them. Engadget also connects this back to Grok, pointing out that both app stores still offer access to XAI's chatbot, which has been implicated in generating around 3 million sexualized images, including tens of thousands involving children, over just 11 days. According to prior reporting, Engadget quotes TTP's Michelle Coppersmith criticizing Apple and Google for failing to properly vet these apps, given how obviously abusive their use cases are. So in one slice of today's news, we have Wired's report of a state-led crackdown on XAI and Grok for non-consensual sexual imagery. Engadget's report that Apple and Google's own app stores are profiting from dozens of nudify apps with enormous download numbers and clear policy violations. This is a collision between frontier AI capabilities and the reality that if you can generate anything, some people will generate the worst possible things, and regulators are now stepping in. Let's zoom out again and look at another big but very different downstream effect of AI energy. The Verge's AI section has another story today titled "The Winter Storm Tested Power Grids, Straining to Accommodate AI Data Centers", published January 27, 2026. The Verge reports on Winter Storm Fern, which swept across 34 US states, knocked out power for hundreds of thousands of people, and pushed power grids to the edge. The key angle here is that power grids were already under stress from the rapid build-out of AI data centers. The Verge highlights Virginia in particular, the state with the most data centers, where wholesale electricity prices spiked over the weekend during the storm. High prices during a cold snap are not surprising, but when you layer on massive new data center loads, it amplifies the strain. The article points out that utilities and grid operators are scrambling to keep up with the growth in power demand from AI infrastructure, and that rising electricity costs are feeding local opposition to new data centers. So while companies like Google, Microsoft, and others are racing to deploy bigger AI models and more compute, the physical reality is that someone has to generate that power, transmit it, and pay for it. And in a winter storm, that's not an abstract problem. It's people losing power and seeing their energy bills go up. So now today's picture looks like this. AI is becoming the default interface for information. AI subscriptions like Google AI Plus are going global. Regulators are pushing back on AI-enabled abuse, especially non-consensual imagery. And AI's hunger for compute is stressing power grids during extreme weather. Before we wrap up, there's one more story that points toward where AI is going next in terms of capability. Real agents that can actually do data science, not just autocomplete code. MarkTechPost's AI news section has a piece titled DSGym offers a reusable container-based substrate for building and benchmarking data science agents, published January 27, 2026. This article appears 3 times in our list, but it's the same story, so we'll cover it once. MarkTechPost reports on DSGym, a new framework introduced by researchers from Stanford University, Together AI, Duke University, and Harvard University. The idea behind DSGym is that data science agents should be able to do what human data scientists do: inspect datasets, design workflows, run code, and produce verifiable answers, not just autocomplete pandas or NumPy snippets. DSGym provides a reusable, container-based test environment for building and benchmarking these agents across more than 1,000 data science challenges. These challenges come with expert-curated ground truth, so you can actually measure how well an AI agent performs end-to-end, from exploring the data to delivering a final result. Why does this matter? Because it's a step toward AI systems that don't just help you write code, but that can autonomously tackle complex analysis tasks, check their work, and be evaluated in a rigorous, repeatable way. It's the same kind of benchmarking culture that accelerated progress in computer vision and language models now being applied to full-stack data science workflows. So if we tie all of today's stories together, a pattern emerges. From the Google AI blog, Ars Technica, and the Verge, we see AI moving from a separate thing you go to, like a chatbot website, into the default way you interact with the web, especially through search. Google is betting big on Gemini 3, AI overviews, and AI mode to make that experience feel natural and conversational. And Google AI Plus is the business layer that monetizes those capabilities globally. From Wired and Engadget, we see the downside of giving powerful generative tools to everyone without enough guardrails. XAI's Grok and the Nudify apps on Apple and Google's app stores are concrete examples of how AI can be weaponized for abuse at scale, especially against women and children. And now, regulators and watchdog groups are forcing a reckoning. From The Verge's reporting on Winter Storm Fern, we're reminded that AI isn't just a virtual phenomenon. The data centers behind these models pull massive amounts of power from real grids, and during extreme weather, that can collide with basic needs like heating homes and keeping the lights on. And from MarkTechPost's coverage of DSGym, we glimpse a more productive and arguably more exciting future for AI. Systems that can actually reason through complex data problems, be benchmarked rigorously, and hopefully help humans solve real scientific and business challenges. If you want to read more, here are the sources we talked about today. Google AI blog. Just ask anything. A seamless new search experience. And Google AI Plus is now available everywhere our AI plans are available, including the US, both dated January 27th, 2026. Ars Technica AI overviews gets upgraded to Gemini 3 with a dash of AI mode. January 27th, 2026. The Verge AI. Google Search now lets you ask AI overviews follow-up questions. And the winter storm tested power grids straining to accommodate AI data centers. Both published January 27th, 2026. Wired Artificial Intelligence. The state-led crackdown on Grok and XAI has begun. January 27th, 2026. Engadget Tech News. Apple and Google reportedly still offer dozens of AI nudify apps. January 27th, 2026. MarkTechPost AI News. DSGym offers a reusable container-based substrate for building and benchmarking data science agents. January 27, 2026. All credit for the original reporting and research goes to those outlets and the researchers behind DSGym. If you found this roundup useful and want more daily breakdowns of what's really happening in AI, not just the hype, but the infrastructure, the regulation, and the research, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. This has been Now Michael channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.